Back of the Bus podcast, coming back to you with another comic book review. We got Black Panther issue number 2 up on deck. As always, we've got our brother from I Ain't Saying, I'm Just Saying, Theo Butler, on to help us review.
Yes. I appreciate it. I'm back. We back. We doing another
Absolutely.
review.
All right, so we start out on this issue with Tchalla and Miss O, going to various sleeper cell agents in Moscow, Brussels, and Berlin. And they are telling them, like, look, we need to yank y'all off the field. It's time to get up through. Thank you for your service, but it's time for you to go home. And it's a little bit mixed reactions, right? You got some that are like, hold on, man, like this has been my life. This has been my one thing. Like,
that's yeah.
Also, there was some in there that were happy to come home, which I also feel like is a real response, right? They were happy to come back to Wakanda. And then there was ones that just felt, just anger. Like, man, the hell with you. Like, where are you coming from? Yeah, I haven't heard from you probably in the longest time. And then now all of a sudden you telling me I got to stop.
This be for mine. And I was just talking to Gabo this morning from Machiavelli Media. I was like, as a veteran, first of all, I don't want to act like we don't do that for real.
Yeah. No. Mm-hmm.
I don't want to act like we don't do that for real, but this be one of them times where I wish the person that's writing this book would have consulted with somebody that was in the military. Mm-hmm. Because that angry response, that's not a realistic response. We got 4 different responses. One of them we haven't addressed yet. 3 out of the 4 responses are absolutely valid. That response, first of all, who you talking to like that? Like, forget what we saying. Yes, Wakanda. Yes, war dogs. They in the military. T'Challa is basically your president, i.e. your chief. Who you talking to like that? So it's one of the things I was like, I see what you're going for. That wasn't the time. that if somebody in the military, kind of like the PTSD thing we did with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, how John did not tell Lamar Hoskins he had the super soldier serum. Mm-hmm. That's not a trait of PTSD.
So then let me play devil's advocate for a second. Sticking with your example of U.S. agent John Carter, right? There was a point, at least in the MCU version, the one we seen in Falcon and Winter Soldier, right? There was a point where he became disaffected with the direction of his superiors, right? Because they tried to burn him. So with that, right, is there not a potential for these sleeper cell agents, these special agents, to have that same type of resentment towards the now ambiguous order of just live your life? Well, you haven't really given me facility to live my life. You haven't really given me agency over my life to know what's next. You just kind of leaving me out into the wind, telling me somebody's shooting for me and to stand down. Right. So is there still some potential there for maybe that first reaction of F you, to be there?
What you would demand, that anger would come from wanting to know why.
Okay.
That's where that anger is going to come from, because I'm here and I did this without questioning it. Now you're telling me to change it and you're not offering me no explanation. The anger is going to come from, hell no, I done did 20 years over here like this. You going to tell me something?
Yeah.
You going to tell me something, or them stars, them stripes, whatever you got on your sleeves, you're going to have to take them off, because I don't even see that right now. I got to put hands on it. That's where that's going to come from. Yeah.
Okay. Understood. So looking into it, it looks like one of the agents, Kimura, is refusing to leave. She has a family. She's got a daughter, it looks like, and a husband. So she's not about to bounce. T'Challa's not going to force her hand. So he leaves her with looks like some sort of tracking device, something to keep his eye on her in case they have some trouble. There's an interesting bit of exposition here between him and O, where they're speaking about the loyalty to the throne versus the loyalty to the country, right? And I think that it's kind of a mixture of 2 different things. It's a mixture of what you were just talking about, right? Duty, honor, duty to country, duty to your leader, right? Another thing I found interesting about that is the ongoing conversation that we have going on with T'Challa and Wakanda Forever, right? Is this a franchise that's built for the titular character, or is this a franchise that's built for Wakanda? I think this was an interesting bit of exposition to kind of work through that a little bit.
I saw that, and it's kind of like, okay, we see where the Ta-Nehisi Coates run left T'Challa, because this is the first time we've seen it since he's been a character for the most part. that Wakanda is basically more diplomatic. So he's a king, but does he basically just a figurehead? So it's one of the things where I'm interested to see, because it's always been written where T'Challa try and do right, he has his ways, Wakanda will reject it, only to be like, you know what, man, you was right. You should have just, kind of like did what you were saying. We was tripping. So I'm wondering if we're going to get this play out after this run where they moving away from him, but because of events that transpire, Wakanda has to move back to him as being the end all say all. I'm hoping there's a peaceful resolution to it where you can have the king and be diplomatic, send the right message per se. So I'm just interested to see where that's gonna play out.
I'm trying not to shoot too far ahead in terms of where this ultimately ends up with Wakanda's new government. In particular with this conversation though, I found it interesting because I feel like if you would have asked all of those agents, O included, right? Where does because she even says it in the statement. She says, I can't speak for everybody, but for me, you have my respect as my leader, but right. That only comes at the behest of my loyalty to Wakanda, which right. Makes sense. I feel like if you would have asked all of them though, that same exact question, you probably would have gotten different answers all the way down the line.
Exactly. It makes me sit back because I'm sitting like, aside from the rebellion that we just had in Wakanda, for the most part, it really has been what T'Challa said went. Now, aside from that one time where he rendered the vibranium inert, he's proven over time and time again, he got his people's back, even at his own sacrifice. This T'Challa don't really like, so I'm like, it's interesting to get their different spin on it. It's almost like, watch this, even in reality, to a degree, it does not matter what we really do. What matters is the perception of others as to what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. So we skip ahead here in the story a little bit. Looks like Shuri's headed back to Chile to investigate Jai's murder. Dope panels here. Dope panels. Yes. I like the so that's part of the griot powers that she using to come in with all of those.
Her power set as a griot, bro. Like, man, the crows coming down from her head.
It's nuts. Listen, I like the power set that they have on her right now because it's giving her something other than being a sidekick. It's giving her something outside of T'Challa's shadow to own on herself.
Being a duplicate, a copy, the female version of T'Challa.
There we go.
She is her own person. Listen,
something unique.
The crows setting up in front of her so they couldn't see, like that wall of blackness. The police walking by like, I ain't nothing here. I'm like, right. So y'all set up. Never mind. I'm good. Artwork was nice on that one. I love that. So.
For sure. I like how they use the technology in combination with the griot skills. It worked very well here. Like I said, it just gives her something to stand alone. But she's piecing things together. She's gaining information about their fighting styles and things of that nature, being the assassins that killed Jai. But just like overall, just showing that she not only has that technological prowess, but also she's a dynamo. She has an elite power set. And I like that. Something that could rival her brother on a certain plane.
Along with her power set, the way she's breaking this crime scene down, this is something we would have seen from Batman, from I don't want to necessarily say Dick Grayson, but from the Tim Drake Robin, they would have broke this crime scene down just like this. Barry Allen. So the fact they got her doing this, and we ain't seen this in a long time, somebody break down a crime scene like this. But the fact that Shuri, the queen, is doing it, Black woman and everything like that, I'm loving it. And like I said, the art definitely complements the whole thing.
Now, I know Shuri stan, but I will say I'm a big X-Men reader, right? And so one of the things that stood out to me about this scene in particular is that the X-Men, the island of Krakoa, has an entire team dedicated to investigating murders. Entire team. I'm talking Polaris, you talking Dakin, you talking I-Boy, Prodigy. They got a whole team to investigate murders. Shuri pop in with a couple beads in the griot powers and do it in 5 minutes.
You got Wolverine's son on the investigation team. We could probably do
whole squad
videos on the X-Men since they did this whole Ten of Swords thing. They on a whole nother level right now. Like,
yeah, they doing a lot. They doing a lot. But I'm saying though, y'all need a team. It's just Shuri. She'll just pop up with a couple beads. We'll get it done. Quick, fast, in a hurry. No problem.
Just come out there, all right, boys, let's go. Let's
Right.
go. And they put the whole scene, reenact and everything like that. But I'm gonna tell you one thing, and I know you're probably gonna touch on it, is the fact that she's acting like, to a degree, the fighting styles and the clothing is familiar to her. And we don't really touch on it to a degree, but she's like, because right when she's like, what are the assassins wearing? Looks like, whoa, what's that? She's taking some, a piece of fabric to them. She's even looking at their fighting style. So, that's why I say, last week, I hope it is who I said it was. I really, really do. Like, wrap that thing on up in a nice little bow.
We gonna get there because we getting closer. We getting closer to finding out who that person is, I believe.
Yeah.
We'll move ahead a little bit here. It looks like that group of assassins that got Ja, that's on the lookout for the rest of the sleeper cell agents. They have stumbled upon Chimera and her family. Chimera asks her husband and her daughter to get out back while she engages with the assassin. Puts up a decent fight, but just seems to get bested. It's interesting because as we kind of pull on here, you're starting to begin to understand that these assassins are more than just well trained. It seems as though they know how to go after their target in particular. And it's not just an elite fight style, it's a fight style that's crafted to fight their prey.
Let's think about this for a second. The war dogs, the Hattusaraze, they are out in the field. They are armed with Wakandan tech.
Mm-hmm.
This is the most advanced tech in the world. Not only are the assassins trained to specifically find them, fight them, but they're armed to defeat them, kill them. That says a lot in and of itself. First of all, the fact that she was on go. Like
right now.
Oh, hey, this what we doing? Like, I don't know if the author, artist, writer meant to have the sister automatically go for her earrings. Yeah. Oh, this what we doing? So, this what it is. The way the artist drew her, she's a middle-aged woman.
Yeah.
You think about looking at, she ain't, this ain't the young warrior. Mm-mm. The writer alludes to the fact that she's been in the field for a minute. She started her own family. The artist draws her that way. We got to give it up for the fact that she was able to hold her own for as long as she did.
Yeah.
This is a middle-aged woman that then gave birth. She like, I'm still in it. Let's go.
Yeah.
So yeah, love that.
So the assassin's moving towards her family. Just in the nick of time, looks like T'Challa and O show up, right? Intervene. One of the things that I thought was pretty interesting about this part of the book was that, right, T'Challa's obviously trying to get information from this guy as he can. But in the midst of him doing that, he almost gets bested his damn self.
I ain't feel that.
You didn't feel that? You didn't feel like he almost got bested?
I mean, yes.
I was gonna say, if you gotta catch a sword with your bare hands and cut somebody's hands off to get up out of there.
I'm saying, like, I didn't feel that betrayal of him. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
oh, you didn't feel that? Okay, I see what you're saying. I got you. Yeah, no, he almost went down.
Because I'm like, okay, it's like playing a video game. So if this what we doing on level 1, what we doing when we meet the boss?
Nah, you're right about that. You are right about that. I think that's a continuous build on what we were talking about. That these assassins are specifically trained to fight Wakandan combatants. Right. They are specifically trained to fight these people. I think they were driving home the point that, look, you may be the almighty Black Panther, but the one thing that can combat that in all of your power is someone who knows how to defeat you, someone who knows your weaknesses, someone who knows your patterns.
And I get that, and I respect that all day long. And here's what I would add to that. When you talk about T'Challa, and we're not going to talk about since 1966, but just say like fictionalized years, how long he's been around. You could be trained to fight him. I'm of the mindset, the way the fight should have went, maybe the dude put hands on him a little bit, but you cut him, you drew blood. You're not doing that because regardless of who you are, you ain't been doing this as long as he has.
Sure. And
the many forms of martial arts that he's forms of fighting styles that he's come across, even invented his own, you don't have access to that. Then on top of all that, unless you got something going on in your system, i.e. making you a superhuman, you're fighting a superhuman. If you put hands on him, it's cause he let you do it. Cause I'm like, well, what is the sword made out of? Cause it's vibranium weave in the costume. So I don't.
You know what? Now that I'm looking at it, that's a good point. Cause I'm literally looking at a panel where he blocks the sword with his forearm, right? But then he goes to slicing through the midsection and he go right through. So it's
like I see what you're saying. We trying to build it up, but I'm like, build it up within reason. Basically, what you just gave me was Bianca Belair getting beat by whatchamacallit in like Becky Lynch in like 27 seconds. I just wouldn't have did it like that, but then I ain't getting paid anyway. So
yeah, I was about to say, yeah, they ain't asking us. They ain't asking us. So definitely could have improved on the execution, I think, a little bit in there. But we go to the next scene where looks like Shuri is impersonating a DHS agent. She's able to confirm that the attackers on Chimera were the same ones that attacked Tchalla. An interesting point that I picked up out of that conversation as they're driving away from the house. Tchalla thought that this could have been the Avengers. Like the attacks on the sleeper cells could have been Steve Rogers.
Let me say this.
Break that down for me. Yeah, break that down.
I read that, and as I said, I wish when these people write these books, you know what you're talking about in regards to the characters. The Avengers are not gonna have somebody go after and kill your sleeper cells
and murder the secret agents of another nation.
Watch this. Steve Rogers ain't doing that. Tony Stark ain't doing that. Hank Pym might have did something like that. but you know, Bruce Banner not doing that.
I guess it depends on what Avengers team we talking about though. Cause like, okay, so you talking Wolverine or Blade wouldn't take no moves like that.
Well, watch
Ghost
this.
Rider.
They not leading the Avengers though. Like it's like
right, yeah.
It's like I could see Wolverine and watch this old school X-Force doing this.
Okay.
You know, because that's all they was about. We a Black Ops team. We going in to kill, coming out. I see them doing that, but the Avengers have never been that squad. We'll come see you to capture you, question you, and if you kill yourself, you kill yourself. So I that was a stretch for me. I'm like you, Marcus. That was a stretch.
Yeah.
Because you got to tie the Avengers in, the whole distrust, mistrust. You started this issue 1. You got to play this up. But anybody that knows the character, you're like, man, stop that.
Yeah, that don't read at all. And then I think I don't know if it was necessarily purposeful, but even in the panel where he says that or where Shuri says it, is like, yo, you got some trust issues, bro, because I don't even read. That don't make sense. like who?
This what me and you finna back up because we done read the comics. You know what? Maybe we misspoke too heavily about him mistrusting the Avengers. Because your mama tried to have you killed back in the day. So, you know.
He don't really trust nobody. He really doesn't trust anyone.
If your mama can try and have you killed by low-key one of your greatest enemies and everything like that, I kind of understand why you might feel like the Avengers might be on some foolishness like that, because that's your mama. My bad, T'Challa, my bad.
So we get to the end of the book and T'Challa and O are set to take flight, and then all of a sudden, here go these damn assassins again. So I'm gonna tell you what, man, I ain't gonna call it, but I'm calling it. I think old girl is setting T'Challa up. How they keep ending up everywhere we at, bro? Ain't nobody tracking me. Ain't nobody tracking me, right? This is the most advanced technology on planet Earth, wielded by one of the smartest men on planet Earth. Ain't no way I'm getting tracked.
Marcus, if you right, I'm gonna be mad.
I'm trying to tell you, I think old girl is setting T'Challa up.
And here's why I would be mad. If she's capable of doing this, then she can't be a one and done. Like her character merits returns, being a part of some supervillain teams on down the road, showing up in the MCU, returning, because that's one of the things that we're missing with T'Challa. We don't get the Joker. We don't get Lex Luthor. And contrary to popular belief, as much as they've tried to build him up to be that way, because of the lack of characterization when it comes to Eric Killmonger is not even his chief villain. Because he don't have that character build up that a Doctor Doom has, that a Red Skull has, that a Loki has. He don't have that. So whatever if she it, nice backstory. They're gonna have to tell us why she mad. You know what I'm saying? You gonna have to give us something else behind this. I'm here for it. Or, like I said, I'm hoping it's somebody else.
Yeah, I don't know if she's necessarily the leader, but I think she's involved because fool me once, okay, fool me 3 times. Y'all keep popping up at all of these indiscriminate locations. Either you tracking me, which is highly unlikely because of it's T'Challa, or it's somebody inside who knows where I'm at.
Watch this. This is where Theo and Marcus get to step aside and have fan theory. You ready? Great fan theory. You're gonna like this one. What if Omolola was Hunter's girlfriend?
Oh man. Oh my goodness.
Hey, and she got mad when he got exiled, and this been the long game for the longest time.
Well, damn, she loving the crew, cause so then she had Hunter, then she was in love with Ja all them years, while she was secretly in love with T'Challa, I guess, cause there was something there too.
Just think about the story you got with this, cause you got the dude walks up. Well, go ahead and tell the people about the last page, man. Go and tell them about the last page where we got the 3 assassins and everything. Go and tell them.
Yeah. So they pop up on him and they tell him, just so it's clear, we live to die, but first, it's your turn.
They dressed in white. That sounds like something Hunter would have said.
Man, I think your theory is right, man. I think this is Hunter. I think Hunter is leading them. I think Hunter is training them. That's why they know how to fight Wakandan warriors so well, especially T'Challa. Look at their
weapons.
Look at what they wearing. Yeah, the weapons.
If you look at the weapons on the last page, the only thing that looks modern in what they have is the cannon old boy used to blow up the jet.
Yeah.
That's it. I would love for them to bring him back. If they tie it into what you just suggested, well, you know, Omolola is setting T'Challa up. Imagine, like how you said, the triangle: Ja, T'Challa, Hunter, T'Challa and Hunter. You see what I'm saying? And then this be a duo, a criminal duo. That's basically, they could be going after T'Challa and Shuri in the Golden Realm for years down the road.
I think that's where we're going, man. I don't trust OR like that, because ever since she been around, it ain't been nothing but trouble. Bodies been dropping all around her. So there's a solicit at the end of the issue about the next issue here. No, I don't necessarily know how I feel about it. It's definitely setting something up, right? But I don't like to see, and let me get to it. Let me explain it. So T'Challa versus the X-Men on Mars. T'Challa goes to seek counsel from Storm on the newly terraformed Mars. But this will not be a happy reunion, as the Black Panther has ulterior motives for his visit. Why? Why he can't pull up and just ask for help from Storm, from his wife? Why he can't just pull up? Hey, I need some help. We going through some things. I got some civil unrest in my house. Help me.
Let me say this. It's a reoccurring thing more often than not, because you and I, you know, reading the comics and everything like that. We just saw Storm show up to Wakanda to aid her man. And I know we just started reviewing the comic books, but there's that cold line in the Intergalactic Empire where I forget who it was that was seeing T'Challa. She said, "You think I could satisfy him like you?" She's like, no woman could ever satisfy him like I can. you just taking care of him while I'm gone. Before the Intergalactic Empire storyline, we had this thing with Jonathan Hickman where she could have easily went, asked for the sword. She stole
Stormbreaker, right? Man, I'm so glad you brought that up, because I did not understand why that whole saga had to happen like that. Like, I don't know if that was one of Hickman's issues. I think it was a Duggan issue or something like that, because they had everybody and their mama writing on 10 of Swords. But I didn't get it. So first of all, we got this Stormbreaker sword that we've never heard of, right? This ancestral sword that they pray to all of a sudden, that's so key to Wakanda's heritage that can never be touched, right? This historic sword we never heard of.
Yes.
She goes to them, right? And because she won't wait for T'Challa to pull up,
and that's all
she just takes it.
That's all, and that's the whole thing. That is the problem that I've had with the whole. Ever since I found out that it was Marvel's editorial team that's basically pushing for them two not to be together because they don't want to make it seem, oh, well, they got to be together. Why the hell not?
You don't say that about Scott Summers and Jean Grey.
Yeah, you put them two together. Like, honestly, Jean came on the scene as a shy, fearful young lady. And this thing, I know y'all done turned her to an Omega level mutant.
They have never found a reason to split up, Mr. Fantastic and Sue Storm for too long either. It's just
so I can't get T'Challa. As many times as Storm and T'Challa has slept with one another, I can't get her to be. Never mind, because I might get. Anyway.
But they don't stay together long enough for her to have a child by T'Challa. They're never together long enough for that to happen.
It don't take but one time. They've been dating since the damn 80s. They've been married and everything. So you mean to tell me on the honeymoon it didn't go down? Let
me check you on that, because it has to be for them. Maybe not for all the other characters. For them, for Aurora Monroe and T'Challa, it has to be out of wedlock. Don't let the first official black marriage in Marvel Comics have a Jon Snow baby. Like, don't make that be our don't make us wear that.
You go back to that. They both been members of the Fantastic Four. They was married then and made it work. But you saw this hope when, T'Challa going back to Atlantis flooding Wakanda, he really had no reason to be mad at her.
At Storm?
You abducted a mutant. She didn't order that hit on Atlantis. Namor did. So the connection between a black husband and a black wife is so fragile that at the first sign of trouble, we annulling it. I'm looking at this like, and to your point, when you talk about Stormbreaker, if this is what I think this is the same narrative we got during the Hickman run in regards to Stormbreaker. She went to him looking for something, needed his assistance. He snapped on her. Looked like he finna go to her, looking for assistance. She finna snap on him. That cannot be. See, this one I try and give the authors, the writers, the benefit of the doubt, but this me being transparent. This makes me want to go look at the ethnicity of the author, of the writer.
Mm-hmm.
If you black, I'm gonna ask, why is this the narrative that you push? If you white, I'm gonna ask the same question. Why is this the narrative that you push? With these two characters. Sue then slept with Reed, then slept with Namor. She's still in love with Reed Richards and ain't going nowhere. She then slept with Dr. Doom. She's still with Reed and ain't going nowhere. Let's call a spade a spade. She done gave T'Challa the cookie. She still ain't going nowhere. Jean Grey, she's sleeping with Scott and Logan. Marvel
sleeping with Logan. Logan lives in the house. He got a room inside the Summers house on the moon.
Wait, and Jean's house, her room is in between Logan and Scott. I'm sitting up and saying to myself, polygamy.
They out here sitting outside of Arbor Magna in a hot tub together in one of the early X-Force issues. I'm like, hold on, man. Hold up. I don't want to put too much on John Ridley just yet because we obviously haven't read the issue yet. So yeah, man, a lot of interesting things happened in this issue. Definitely looking forward to what we got coming down the road in this first arc. Any thoughts going forward?
I just want to see the evolution of the character forward. Like I said, as much as we love T'Challa and everything like that, as great as he is as a character, there's still some development that can take place, much needed development with his character, much needed development with the surrounding characters, world building. Let's say that, world building. Like I said, I'm hoping, based on what we said earlier, what you alluded to, that Omolola is a part of it. I'm hoping that Hunter has something to do with it because it would play back into the Black Panther mythos and then bring us forward and introducing a new character to add some new complexities to his life and everything. So I'm hoping they pay that forward. I really, really am.